Ready to feel more comfortable and confident starting conversations.
Absolutely.
That's what we're diving into today.
Sounds good.
We're looking at a guide
Okay.
to introductions and small talk in English.
Right.
It's kind of like a cheat sheet,
Yeah.
for those first few minutes of any interaction.
I like that.
So think of it as a toolbox
Mm-hmm.
full of practical tips and phrases you can use right away,
Okay.
plus some insights into common mistakes to avoid.
Those initial moments are really important.
Oh, yeah,
More powerful than we realize, I think.
for sure.
They really set the tone for the entire conversation.
This guide jumps right into the greeting,
Okay.
even breaking it down between casual and formal greetings.
Uh-huh.
I can already see how, hello, it's nice to meet you,
Yeah.
has a totally different feel than just a quick, hey.
It's true.
Yep.
The words matter.
Right.
But it's fascinating how much our nonverbal communication plays a role, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a genuine smile,
Mm-hmm.
making eye contact.
Yeah.
Those things send a powerful message even before you've spoken a word.
Right.
They can instantly make you more approachable.
I think about people that I've met
Yeah.
that I immediately felt comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I bet their body language projected that warmth and openness.
Absolutely.
This guide actually calls that out as a pro tip.
Oh, nice.
Smiling and eye contact.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your English isn't perfect,
Mm-hmm.
those things can really help put people at ease.
For sure.
Okay, so you've nailed the greeting,
Bam.
offered a friendly smile.
Huh?
What's next?
Let's see.
This guide says to share some basic information about yourself,
Okay.
like where you're from, what you do,
Uh-huh.
but then it mentions this fun fact.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I'm a little curious about this one.
Yeah.
Isn't that a little cheesy?
Not at all.
Okay.
This is where you can really make a memorable first impression
Okay.
instead of that standard information swap.
Yeah.
You're giving them a hook, something to remember you by.
Mm-hmm.
People remember stories better than just dry facts.
Right.
And a fun fact provides that story hook for them to connect to you.
Okay.
For example,
Yeah.
I always tell people I've visited all 50 states.
Wow.
It inevitably leads to questions,
Yeah.
shared stories, and people genuinely seem to remember me because of it.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Your 50 states example makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
It's so much more engaging than just saying, like, I'm a project manager,
Yeah.
which might be accurate, but doesn't exactly make you stand out.
Exactly.
Right.
That fun fact offers a peek into your personality,
Yeah.
your interests,
Uh-huh.
creating a connection that goes beyond the superficial.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm.
Okay, so you've broken the ice,
Okay.
shared a memorable tidbit about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you keep the conversation going?
Whoa.
I see this guide stresses these open-ended questions,
That's a fundamental communication skill, I think. Yeah.
not just in English,
Oh, for sure.
but really any language.
Right.
It's all about inviting the other person to share more than just a yes or no.
Okay.
Think of it like building a bridge.
Okay.
A closed question like, do you live here?
Yeah.
Is like a drawbridge that's suddenly pulled up, ending the exchange.
Right.
But an open-ended question like,
Mm.
what do you like most about living here?
Mm-hmm.
Is like a welcoming bridge, inviting them to cross over and tell you about their experiences.
I see.
Yeah,
This guide gives a lot of examples like, what do you like to do in your free time?
right.
So instead of a flat, do you live here?
Mm-hmm.
I could ask, what's your favorite thing about this city?
Exactly.
That opens up a whole conversation about their life and experiences here.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It shows you're genuinely interested in their perspective
Uh-huh.
and not just waiting for your turn to talk.
This guide is really practical.
Yeah.
It even talks about sticking to safe topics,
Oh, okay.
especially at the beginning of a conversation.
Things like the weather, hobbies,
Right.
non-political local news,
Okay.
things that everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
But doesn't that get a little boring?
That's a great point.
Like, how many times can you talk about the weather before it feels cliche?
I think the idea isn't to get stuck in these topics forever,
Yeah.
but rather to use them as a starting point,
Right.
a way to find common ground and build rapport.
Gotcha.
Think of it like building a house.
Okay.
You wouldn't start with the roof, right?
Right.
You lay a solid foundation first.
Yeah.
In this case, safe topics are the foundation of a comfortable conversation,
Yeah.
especially when you're meeting someone for the first time.
So it's more about easing into the conversation,
Exactly.
establishing a connection, and then you can build from there.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's like you said, you need that solid foundation before you can start adding those interesting architectural details.
I like that analogy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's about being mindful and considerate
Right.
of the other person and the context. Your goal is to make them feel comfortable, not to launch into a deep philosophical debate within the first 5 minutes.
Right.
I can definitely see the value in that.
It reminds me of something I observed while traveling abroad. In some cultures, talking about food is like a universal icebreaker.
Oh, yeah.
It's a safe, enjoyable topic
Uh-huh.
that transcends language barriers and cultural differences.
Food is such a great example.
Yeah.
It's something everyone can relate to regardless of background.
Right.
So finding that common ground is key, especially early on.
For sure.
But this guide doesn't stop there.
Okay.
It goes beyond just picking the right topics.
Yeah.
It stresses the importance of active listening.
Right.
And I noticed they even provide specific phrases you can use.
Oh, cool.
Like, that's interesting, or tell me more.
And that's where the magic happens.
Oh, yeah?
Active listening isn't just nodding politely.
Right.
It's showing the speaker that you're truly engaged,
Right, yeah.
that their words matter. You know,
Yeah.
it validates their experience and encourages them to open up even more.
I see.
I found that one of the most effective techniques is reflecting back what you've heard.
Oh, reflecting back. Okay.
Yeah.
So the guide suggests repeating a key detail to show you're paying attention.
Right.
Like they use an example of someone talking about a hiking trail.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say, oh, you like hiking. Where's your favorite trail?
Exactly. It's such a simple technique,
Yeah.
but it demonstrates that you're not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right.
You're actively absorbing what they're saying.
Yeah.
It shifts the focus from self-promotion to
Yeah.
genuine curiosity.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building a connection, not just trying to impress someone with your own stories.
Right.
So we've covered greetings,
Okay.
finding common ground,
Mm-hmm.
asking good questions,
Mm-hmm.
and active listening.
Yeah.
What about wrapping things up?
Ah, yes.
I'm sure there's an art to saying goodbye too.
The art of the graceful exit.
Exactly.
It's all about ending the conversation smoothly
Right.
without feeling abrupt or awkward.
Yeah.
This guide offers some polite phrases like, "It was great talking to you. I hope we can chat again soon."
And they mentioned exchanging contact information,
Okay.
which feels natural in some settings,
Yeah.
like a networking event,
Right.
but maybe not so much in others.
I think context is key here.
Okay.
A brief chat at a party has a very different vibe than, say, a professional conference,
Mm-hmm.
where the goal is to connect with people in your field.
Right.
In some cases, you might simply express how much you enjoyed the conversation,
Okay.
while in other situations, it's perfectly appropriate to suggest staying in touch.
And this guide offers a great tip,
Oh, cool.
linking your goodbye to something you discussed earlier.
Oh, okay.
Like, enjoy that hike on trail name. It was great talking to you.
I like that.
Yeah, it brings it full circle and demonstrates you were engaged in the conversation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It shows that you weren't just going through the motions of small talk.
Mm-hmm.
You were present and absorbed something from the interaction.
Right.
But of course, even with the best intentions, things can go wrong.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Because I see the guide has a section on common mistakes people make. I have to admit, I'm a little nervous to hear this part.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure I've been guilty of at least a few of these.
We all have.
Right.
It's part of the learning process.
So they highlight things like talking only about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
diving into sensitive topics too quickly,
Right.
or using overly formal language.
Yeah.
That can make you seem stiff and unapproachable.
Exactly.
So it's really about being mindful and considerate of the other person and the situation.
Absolutely. Okay.
Remember, the goal is to make the other person feel comfortable and build a connection.
Yeah.
These mistakes can derail even the best intentions.
Awareness is key, as they say.
Right.
But knowing what not to do is only half the battle.
Okay.
I'm curious what the guide suggests for actually improving these skills.
Oh, I know they mentioned listening to podcasts,
Naturally.
which of course we're all for,
Of course.
but is there anything else?
Yeah, they also encourage active practice,
Okay.
not just passive listening.
Like what?
Things like role-playing with a friend,
Uh-huh.
or even preparing a go-to introduction that you can adapt to different situations.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
It's like having a script in your back pocket,
right.
ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't use it word for word,
Yeah.
it helps build that initial confidence.
Confidence is essential,
Yeah.
but so is embracing those early stumbles.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Fluency comes with practice,
Mm-hmm.
and every conversation, regardless of how successful it feels,
Right.
is a learning opportunity.
It's all about having that growth mindset, right?
Exactly.
Seeing every interaction as a chance to improve.
And that brings me to a challenge for our listeners.
What's this challenge you have for our listeners?
I want you to think of one specific situation this week. where you can put these tips into practice.
Okay.
It could be at work,
Mm-hmm.
a social event,
Yeah.
or even just striking up a conversation with someone new at the coffee shop.
Oh, I like that.
The key is to step outside your comfort zone and experiment.
Take action.
Yeah, put these insights to work in the real world.
I love it.
Remember, even seasoned communicators weren't born with these skills.
Oh, yeah.
They developed them through practice and, yes, probably a few awkward moments along the way.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive,
Oh.
from that initial hello
Yeah,
to navigating those tricky goodbyes.
it's true.
It's amazing how much goes into what seems like a simple chat.
It's a reminder that even these seemingly small interactions are full of nuance.
Right.
But with the right approach, anyone can master the art of introductions and small talk.
And this guide really breaks it down into manageable steps.
It does.
It boils down to confidence, friendliness,
Mhm.
and a healthy dose of curiosity.
Curiosity is key,
Yeah.
because every conversation is a chance to learn something new. Not just about the other person, but about yourself, too.
That's a great point.
What makes you tick? What sparks your interest? What stories you have to share?
Yeah.
It's all part of the discovery.
It's not just about trying to impress others.
Right.
It's about connecting with the world around you and discovering more about who you are in the process.
Exactly.
So go out there, practice those introductions, embrace the small talk, and most importantly, stay curious.
Yeah, you never know what fascinating connections you might make along the way.
And speaking of connections, we'd love to hear from you.
Oh, yeah.
What's your go-to fun fact or conversation starter?
Let us know.
Share it with us on social media using the hashtag #DeepDiveChat.
We can't wait to hear what you come up with.